Hi, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Movie Chats with Ant and Rye. Today, we're going to talk about the movie Civil War from 2024, directed by Alex Garland and starring Kirsten Dunst. Um, all right, I really, really enjoy this movie for many reasons. It's a bit eerie the way that it echoes with what's happening right now in the US, in California.
Yes,
Um,
and especially the last 48 hours or so as well.
I know. Uh, so that's yeah, it's a bit very, very accurate. I
Right.
think with what's happening in the US. Uh, Maybe let's start with the cinematography because I think it is out of this world. It is
Right.
just
There
so
was
good.
there were so many visceral moments within this film that I
Mm,
just was, wow, that just there's a moment where it's the sniper scene at the Christmas stand and uh, Lee is lying on the grass and she's focusing on the flowers and the flowers come into focus
yeah.
and that's what she's focusing on. And just another part was when they're driving through the fire. It's just,
Oh, it's such
oh,
a beautiful moment. But yeah, the use of the focus, like sometimes something goes in focus and out of focus, depending on what they want you to focus on. And they're also using a lot of wide shots that is really showing the set that everything is desolate. Everything that used to be a place for fun, like a Christmas wonderland or a stadium, is now a desolate place that has military camping in it. Um, that's just so like uh, yeah, gripping and visceral. The use of the sound as well when there is no sound and they're screaming, or there is the use of the music, or the use of um, a music that doesn't necessarily go with the scene, but makes
yeah.
it even more awkward for some
It was
reason.
always was there a rock song playing on when they're storming one of the buildings where they find the
Yeah,
guy at the top? It's just like, wow, that's just it. It's polar opposites of what you're visually looking at to what you're
yeah.
audibly hearing. Is just it's so jarring that it just takes you away from what is happening.
Yeah, it's disconnected, but it's on purpose because you have people dying and you see the press, they are talking and they are laughing with the military and it's like completely desensitized from it. Um, yeah, I love that. Even the way that they are telling the stories, because we're following a few war photographers, and when they are mixing um the shot with still shots, like they are pictures and you have the sound of the camera shutter. It is
Yep.
so well done, so immersive. Love that.
Yeah. Yeah. Even going back on uh, scenes and places which is normally full of fun and life and stuff like that. When they've gone to the JC Penney, we're
Yeah.
Australian, we don't have that. We don't have that over here. And it's the military helicopter has crashed into the car park, and they've taken a photo. They're taking photographs of that, and it's just you. It's just that is their life now, I suppose, and it's yeah, completely. Yeah, like you said, they're desensitized. Well, Lee has and Joel have become desensitized to this situation, and you've obviously got Jesse, who
Yeah.
is just learning to become a.
She gets
It's
there.
just
Like,
she
seriously,
does.
she's getting everybody in trouble, right? She's the one getting them in trouble because for some reason she wants to switch cars at a high speed. That was a little forced. I felt it was just slightly out of character. It felt like it's to move the story forward, but then it keeps on coming back. She is a bit of an adrenaline junkie. And at the end, spoiler alert, turn off the podcast if you don't want to hear what's happening. But so the character of Lee dies, saving her, and then she really moves on so very quickly from it, and she keeps going to get the picture that she wants. of the death of the president. That was hard to watch. It's like, wow, you
Yeah.
really lost your humanity and soul on that one.
I made quite a few notes on that. The first was my first question was where I was going to bring up to you was Lee's death needed? You know, it didn't have any impact on the other characters, but it was almost like Jessie had become hardened herself in that short
Yeah,
period of time that they were together. So she's had the baton passed by Lee to her. So
yeah,
Lee's obviously, when we first meet Lee, she's war hardened. She's desensitized. She's cut, cut. I can't say the word, um, but she's just. I'm not gonna. I'm not even gonna pretend to say it. But she's just war fatigued. And then
yeah,
after Sammy dies, that's when she kind of breaks, and she's just has quite severe PTSD. She's just
yeah,
broken by the war now, and Jessie has become the new Lee, where Jessie's now war hardened. She's
yeah,
desensitized herself. You know, the passing of the torch. It's a new generation of photographer.
yeah.
So instead of going to mourn, she's right on to the next thing because there was that
Hmm.
conversation earlier in the film where Jessie asked Lee, "If I do get shot and I die, will you take my photo?" And Lee goes, "What do you think?" So obviously
Yeah,
it's now Jessie is the new Lee, and then they
yeah. And
go.
she did take that picture. So,
She did take that picture, yeah.
but yeah, I when it was towards the end and they walked into the White House, I had a feeling that one of them was gonna die. I was just not sure which one it was gonna be. And I'm still a bit torn whether it was needed in the story or was it just to up the drama. I'm Because what you were saying about the passing of the torch and there is a bit of symbolism in that, but it
Do you,
felt a little cliche. And I don't know if it was needed or not. I'm torn. I'm not saying it was
yeah,
bad, but I'm yeah,
I agree. She could have resigned. She could have just seen them storm the castle and gone, you know what, I'm tapping out. Jesse, this is all on you. And she could have walked off, had a
yeah,
walk into the sunset moment. That could have been, I think that could have been a way better ending for the movie.
true.
That's still passing the torch on without killing off a character that doesn't need to die. You've already had so
Yeah,
much death in the film up to
it's
that point.
true.
There's two of Joel's friends. There's Sammy, now Lee. It was too much. I think
Yeah,
you, you could have done without killing her and I think you could have had a better ending if you didn't kill her off.
yeah, yeah. I think you're right. I think you're right. Um, should we talk about the acting?
Um, Yes, we can. I'll have a question to bring on later on, but we'll definitely talk about the acting. Sure.
All right, let's talk about the acting, and then you can bring on the question. What did you think of the acting, especially Kirsten Dunst?
I haven't watched too many of her films. I liked her as an
Hmm.
actress actually, because
Yeah,
especially when she was younger, she did um, the most hilarious comedy. It's a dark comedy. It's called uh, Drop Dead Gorgeous. It's
yeah,
got I love that movie. It's hilarious, and she does such a great job in that. But
mm,
now that she's just that little bit older, and because she's a little bit older than I am, you could see that she played that war torn. I thought she did a good job. I liked it. I thought it was great.
yeah.
Yeah, I'll give it. She did a good job.
I liked her. I think I really liked her. I mean, she's tough and a bit cold, and she doesn't let on a lot, but you can feel that there is something behind that, a lot of emotional turmoil and a lot of thoughts. And she softens as well in the contact of Jesse. She's got a few smiles when they are in this town that is for some reason a bit sheltered from the Civil War that he's pretending to be when they're in the shop and she's buying the dress and taking a picture and she's paying her a compliment. and Lee smiles and she takes a picture. That's a very sweet moment between the two of them. So I thought that her acting, and not only hers, like all the actors, but especially her acting, was really brilliant. I really liked her in this.
Yeah. We'll go to Kaylee, forgot how to pronounce her name, Kaylee Spaney.
Mm.
I've only ever seen her in uh, Bad Times at the El Royale, so I don't know her too well as an actress,
Oh,
but
that
I
was
thought,
her, right?
yeah, she was Dakota Johnson's little sister in that
Yeah,
film.
yeah, right.
Um, I liked her. I thought she
Just good.
started off where she was, she was very innocent and she wants to become a photographer. She has her
Mm.
moments where she's obviously has to go through a bit of ordeal throughout the film,
Yeah.
where she, we'll go through the big one in a bit, but where she kind of
Mm.
meets the guys at the gas station and she doesn't take the photo because that's her first real, oh my God, this is war. And
Oh, there
where
is
she
this
sees the
moment,
two
yeah.
where she sees the two guys hanging, and that's kind of her first real uh, I can't think of the adjective used, but that's her first identity of war, where she's seeing those two guys, and what do we do? Do we kill that people holding them hostage? You need to make a choice: are we going to kill them or not, or we're going to keep hanging them around?
Yeah, this
But
is really
you'd never
where
see,
she's facing up reality, like like the true reality of war. Yeah, there is this moment. I think the biggest moment of hers is when she's falling in the trenches that has all the human bodies, and especially with the sound that is a bit muffled, and she's like, and they covered the bodies
that.
in lye as well, and
Yeah,
she's got some on her, and she's that moment is
that was so hard to watch.
haunting. Yeah.
I I I actually had to uh, jump ahead a little bit because it was just like, oh my God, it was, yeah, it was just so visceral
It's very
and just,
visceral.
it was just, it was one of those moments where you have to kind of look away a little bit. There's not
Mm,
many movies that kind of make me wince, but that was one of them that I just, yeah, I had to, I had to look away on that one.
mm.
I'm gonna give the MVP to his name's Wagner Moura,
Yeah.
who plays Joel. Never seen him in anything, and I'm going to keep an eye out for him. But he was so good in this film. Just because he's an adrenaline junkie. He loves his job. He loves being part of the war. He's got the highest of highs where they've just uh, I think it's just after where they've stormed they've stormed the building, and he's like woohoo, and he's they're
Mm.
driving, and he's just. But then after obviously people he know and love dies, he's just absolutely devastated. It's just it's heartbreaking to watch him as well. So I I
Oh, yeah.
found it a little bit. I thought it was tough that we didn't get to see him react to Lee's death because we didn't get to see that for him and
Yeah.
how
He's a bit the same as Jesse. He keeps on moving because she wants her photo and he wants his quote. And they both get what they want in the end. That's a very powerful moment as well towards the end when the president says, I don't know, but it's like something so lame as the last word.
yeah
And
yeah
I don't,
don't let them kill me.
yeah.
Don't
And
let
it's
them
like,
kill me.
that will do.
That,
It's like, yeah,
yeah,
that will do. That's so good.
yeah. Um, I liked. I don't know whether I've watched a few interviews on this film because I wanted to have a bit of an educated conversation about it because whether should the cause of the Civil War should it have been revealed because it's not revealed why the Civil War started. It's just the fact that it is there.
Yeah, I don't think so, to be honest. I think it's much more powerful that the same as then you're just dropped in this dystopian future and you learn how to, you get to know the characters, you learn a bit more about what's happening with the Western forces, the Florida Alliance, or, and all the secession. I think it would have. taken away the emotional impact because you really want to get attached to the characters, what they are doing, what they are going through, rather than a backstory about what did it happen. Um, yeah, I personally I think it would have done a disservice to the movie. What do you
And
think?
it's yeah, I agree. Now that because as I was watching, I was like, why is it gonna it's just gonna explain why it's happened? Why
Mm,
why are they going after the president? There's very limited backstory. The only thing that he's disbanded the FBI and he's obviously changed the constitution to have a third term. So he's obviously not a good president, and so that's why what happens to him happens to him.
yeah.
It's a bummer he's played by Nick Offerman because I love Nick
I
Offerman, and
know. Yeah.
this is the second movie within a few days that I've watched where he gets killed. So that's a shame. That's a shame. Um, it's more of a movie about journalism, I found, because obviously
Yep.
they're the press, they're the ones that are following all this action,
Yep.
and even people in uh, 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 their job, they're suffering from this PTSD as well. You can see that very early on that Lee is suffering from, you know, the job hardships. I think it's only in the first 15 or 20 minutes, she's crying herself in the bathtub because
Mm,
she's obviously is quite traumatized by what happened. So
yeah.
again, which makes it even harder that she doesn't make it out of the film. You'd hope that
Yeah.
we could have that happy ending and get out of this war. It does take everything from her in the end, which is a little bit upsetting.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. Cool.
One,
Another. Yeah. Go for it.
I was going to say, do you think that Jessie became too desensitized too quickly, or do you think it was just what the story needed her to become?
Both actually. But yeah, as I was saying, her I do think her character evolves a little bit too fast, and sometimes she would do things that you feel is to make the story move forward, but it doesn't feel like a real
It's not
character per
organic.
se. It's not
Yeah.
very organic as much as you feel that Lee and Joel and Sammy are proper character that you get attached to. Jessie's got her moment and she's got a bit of a story, but she also feels a bit like a plot device that needs to do something so the story can move forward and happen. So, out of all the characters, she's the less well written one, I feel.
Yeah. I think I was interrupting you before you wanted to say something.
I just wanted like that we are on the topic of characters and seeing how good was Jesse Plemons.
I was literally just about to say we haven't discussed the elephant in the room yet. Oh my God. The least he says and the least threatening he sounds, the more threatening and the more I know just oh my God, he's terrifying he is. He's
Yes,
he's an amazing actor. I love Jesse Plemons. Come
is
on.
is so good. It's such a scene. It's like I think one of the best scenes in the movie. He's not in it for that long, but my God, does he make it memorable? And he was not even supposed to play that character in that movie. He got
I know because
replaced
I
last
was
minute, and Kirsten Dunst
because they're married.
suggested him last minute. So it's like, yeah, okay, I'll do it. Coincidence.
Wow.
Awesome. Love it.
Right? Oh, just ever since Breaking Bad, any film that he's appeared in, we just need someone creepy. Is Jesse Plemons available? He is excellent.
Yes, it's even in Black Mirror, he's just so good in the USS Callister. Just love him.
Um, all right. Is there anything else that you'd like to bring up? Because I think
No,
I've exhausted.
exhausted all my notes. Um, yeah,
All right.
let's go
Let
into
us get in.
scores.
Let's get into scores. Well, it's your choice this week, so I'll let you go first if you like.
Okay, I'm gonna give it a 4.5 out of 5. I really liked it. I think it's a very, very clever movie. Well acted, beautiful cinematography, very emotional. Very glad I saw it. Just little nitpicks that I had along the way, but my God, is it ambitious, and he pulls it off almost 100% of the times. So yeah, 4.5 out of 5. What about you?
Yeah, I'm gonna go 4.5 out of 5 as well. It's a yeah, very very good movie. Just some of that imagery is just it just puts the hairs on the back of your neck stand up. It's just and even when you think about just the why it is like while Lee's looking at the flowers, she's looking at life while death's around her. Those kind of like just between the uh yeah, just all of it is just yeah, I thought it did really well.
Nice. Good stuff. Well, thank you for tuning in. And please like, subscribe, recommend our podcast. This is how we grow. And we'll talk to you next week.
Take care, everyone.